Hello, my name is Burhana Islam and I am the author of Amazing Muslims Who've Changed the World and the My Laugh Out Loud Life series, which currently has Mayhem Mission and the Dastardly Duo. But today I'm actually here to talk to you about the Empathy Superpower Challenge, and my activity was to take an empathy walk. I'm actually going to tell you a little bit about my walk today because I learned quite a lot. And I actually never considered taking an empathy walk before until I was challenged to do so. So I had my empathy lenses on. And I went with my niece. And we were trying to walk around, and it was a bit chilly. It was a little bit chilly. I had my scarf on, I had my hood on, and we were all nicely wrapped warm. And we took it upon ourselves to see, okay, what would it be like to be somebody else? And that really made us open our eyes, because as we were walking, we were walking towards a supermarket. Next to the supermarket you might have near your Sainsbury's or local Asda, we saw two homeless people, and they were wrapped up in a thin coat with their rucksack, and they had like a coffee mug with coins in it. And we were just talking about what it must be like to be in that situation, because we were quite lucky that we were wrapped up nice and warm. We had our scarves on, we had our coats on, we had our hoods up. But actually we were really, really privileged that we had just come out from a warm house, and that we had taken the option of taking a walk, and it wasn't something that was forced upon us. It's not something that we have to do. It's not something that we have to stay outside because we don't have a home to go back to. And it really made us think about how privileged and how blessed we are, because ultimately we are in a position where we have heating and like the things that we have taken for granted. And here we were near Asda, local supermarket, where there are absolutely loads of people milling about, and we have two homeless people. We're in a position where they're sitting outside in the cold, and there was a dog there as well, and how difficult life must be for them. And then we started thinking, okay, well, how could that person have been in that situation, and how quickly and how easy it is just to lose a job and not keep up with the rent or bills and find yourself on the streets, especially if you've got no support system. So we were really aware of the realities that were in front of us, and actually we're thinking about how could we, as a society, I guess, how do we let these things happen? So that was one aspect of our empathy walk that really took us aback. And it was quite interesting to talk to my niece about it, because she's so young, because she didn't realise, or she didn't know why this person, because she's got a lovely little bunk bed, which she didn't understand why he didn't have a bed, or why they didn't have beds. And then we continued walking. So we got out of the supermarket, we continued walking, and on our walk we have a little bit of a hill. So we're climbing up this hill, and she, because she's got little legs, she got really tired, and she's like, can we stop? So we had a little bit of a break, and we were talking about, well, actually, what if we had social mobility issues? Maybe I didn't use those words, but what happened if we had a difficulty climbing up a hill? What happens if our bodies weren't as capable of walking up a hill as easily as other people, and how difficult it must be, maybe if anybody has ridden a bike up a hill, you'll know how difficult it is. So, and that's for a healthy person. So imagine how difficult it will be for somebody who has that disability, that kind of makes it more difficult for doing something as simple as walking, taking it for granted. But as we were walking, it wasn't just these things. These are two things that we picked out. But there were so many other things. My niece is she's bilingual, so there were some times where she was trying to talk to like the dogs and things like that, because she talks to animals, but she was speaking to them in Bengali. And one of the things I thought of was, actually, imagine you only had your language which wasn't English, and you might understand things the way everybody else does, but you just can't communicate it in English. And how hard that must be to know something but not have the words to articulate it, not have the words to tell somebody about it. But those are just a few of the things that kind of were highlighted in our walk, and it made us think about how lucky we are, about how blessed we are, and how we are in such a position of privilege, to have shelter and security, and warmth, and B, to have kind of food on our plates, a regular income and things like that, and not have to worry about these things, and actually how much we take for granted. And I read a quote once, and it said something like, if you have safety, security and shelter, and you have your next meal, then you're actually more privileged than half of the world. Which made me think, I don't know how true that is, but it made me think that actually that would make me incredibly privileged, and that's something that I hope makes me a bit more empathetic about people around me, a bit more understanding. So I think my goal going forward is to, when I'm walking about, or when I'm going about my daily life, and if something isn't done on time, or if something is perhaps not done in the way I want it to be done, maybe there's a lot more going on behind that person's eyes who I want them to do. But yeah, that's something to think about. Anyway, hope you enjoyed being part of my superpower challenge, my empathy walk, and that you take something away from that too. But for now, I'll leave you to it. Goodbye.